All right. Hello, and welcome to this episode where we're going to talk about balancing the nervous system. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Matt, and I am the founder of Restored Minds as well as the creator of the AAA Response. And so, on this episode, I want to dive into really the nervous system, and I kind of want to talk about it from just a high level because I think it's important to understand, especially if you're dealing with something like OCD and anxiety or really anything on that stress spectrum. So, whether it's general anxiety, social anxiety, phobias, panic, PTSD, things like that, even as far as derealization, depersonalization, one of the things that we really need to kind of center our attention on is making sure our nervous system is balanced and some ways that we can go about helping that process to happen. So if you're really struggling with this, by the way, please check out the notes where I have a free guide as well as a workshop that could, really get you started on this particular journey. And so that's just down in the notes. And then also it would really help if you would take a moment to please like and subscribe and even leave a comment or review on the show, as that just helps with our algorithm and helps us get the show to as many people as possible. So let's go ahead and dive in. So the nervous system is broken up into really two main components here, right? And we're talking about the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. And you got to kind of think of it like a teeter-totter or seesaw, so to speak, right? Like when one is up, right, or active, the other one's not, right? These aren't systems that they correspond to one another. They don't go on at the same time because they serve two different functionalities, right? So our sympathetic nervous system is our short-term survival, right? Or our fight or flight system. When we're talking about like, hey, we need to stay alive right now, right? So fight, flight, or freeze, right? And when you are in the sympathetic nervous system, or that is the nervous part of this nervous system that's activated, a lot of the short-term functionality is going to be, really prioritized, and the long-term functionality is going to be deprioritized or suppressed. So this is why when you're in the short term, again, fight or flight, your system senses a threat. What happens is the blood's going to start getting pumped into your large muscle groups. Your vision is going to sharpen. Your heart rate is going to elevate. Adrenaline's going to get pumped into your system to help keep you alive. That's the main functionality. And then you have the parasympathetic nervous system, which is more your rest and digest state, and or feed and breed, whatever you want to call it. But it's more this nervous system that's activated when you are in a more homeostatic, safe area, or safe space. Your body's determining that you're safe, so it moves into the parasympathetic response. Now with anxiety, really any form of anxiety, what's happening is our bodies are going into the sympathetic nervous system state, and we are not there's not actually a threat that's currently happening, right? It's futuristic ideas, it's intrusive thoughts, or we're getting anxious about fear itself in the body, or getting anxious about getting anxious. And these are the overall things that are causing this sympathetic nervous system to activate. The problem is that if we engage in behaviors that validate that these situations are dangerous, right, then our nervous system keeps going off with these situations. So for instance, let's just say social anxiety. If we get nervous in our minds about, going and interacting with a bunch of people in a party, and then we avoid the party, well, we're teaching our brain that parties are really dangerous, and that more importantly, we should keep activating that system when there's the potential of interacting with parties, and again, it's just something that it's learning. We're conditioning our nervous system to believe something one way or the other. And which is why what the real work that we need to do is we need to send messages of safety to the nervous system. And we don't do that verbally, right? What we have to understand is that our nervous system and really the part of our brain that really operates, the whole anxiety kind of realm, operates at a sublingual level, meaning it doesn't understand language. You can't sit here and tell someone to be calm when their nervous system is overly active, or, they're really in that sympathetic response, because it's not going to work, right? It won't shift them out of it, because the brain's it's operating in a part that doesn't really understand language. What it understands is behavior and behavioral reinforcement. So when we're talking about balancing the nervous system, what's important is that we're behaviorally sending messages of safety to the nervous system so that it feels safe, right? And recognizes that it's safe, so it can shift out of sympathetic and into parasympathetic. And that's really what the work of exposure response prevention, using the AAA response, is really designed to do. It's designed to shift the nervous system. And when your nervous system's been overactive, it can get, I don't want to say fried. That's like, but really understanding that your nervous system, if it's overused, it just it can feel, you start feeling burnt out, all that stuff. And what we're talking about again, and so one of the ways to remember this, and I forget who I learned this from, but the idea of the sympathetic and the parasympathetic is sympathetic, right, is fight or flight, and para, like parachute, is the kind of safe, right, the safe feeling in the body, right? And so what we're trying to shift into is the parasympathetic. That's where you want to spend the majority of your time, if you, ideally, because spending too much time in the sympathetic, again, is going to cause all the long-term functions that it suppresses, whether it's digestion or your sex drive, things like that. It causes problems with your body over the long run, right? So this is why people with anxiety have, again, sleep issues, with digestive issues, again, low sex drive, or, performance issues, is because you're trying to activate a functionality that's purposefully being suppressed by the sympathetic nervous system. This is why understanding this is so important. So what can we do to send messages of safety to our nervous system, right? That's the question. And I want to just talk about some very simple things. And you have to think about, when you're sending messages, it's what you're doing behaviorally. Okay. So the very first thing is that we need to, really work on eliminating our compulsive behaviors or our safety behaviors. So all the things that we avoid, check, control, cope, get reassurance, and all the mental things we do, like, mentally analyzing, mentally ruminating, mental review, thought checking, thought suppressing, thought analyzing, right? And the list goes on, right? Every time we do those behaviors, we're validating the idea. So think of it like this. If your nervous system gets activated over a what if thought, and your nervous system activates in the fight or flight, if we do a behavior that then shifts you out of that and into the parasympathetic, the problem is that we validated the idea that the thought was dangerous. So therefore, when your mind produces again, what's going to happen? Your nervous system's going to get activated again, right? So by any behavior we do that immediately shifts our nervous system state, it validates the idea that it was supposed to be in that state, and that we were really actually in danger, that really was threatening. Hope that makes sense, because that's important that we understand that. And so the first thing is eliminating all the behaviors. That's the primary thing. And because if we don't engage in the behaviors, even when the nervous system gets activated, when it knows how to reach homeostasis on its own, and when we let it do that, we validate the idea that we were actually already safe and that it was a false alarm. So the other things we can do are just simple things in our day, right? So just how you posture is important, right? This is why, like, in the book 12 Rules for Life, right? By Dr. Jordan Peterson, he talks about the idea of like lobsters, right? And in posture and the serotonin levels. And it's really fascinating first chapter. But posture is important, right? If you're hunched over, right, and like crouched over, your shoulders are rolled forward, right? Think about, like, what message is that sending to your body? That you're safe? Or is this like more the posture you'd be in if you were, again, down or getting attacked or all that, right? So the message you're sending with the posture in your body is going to be an important thing that you can work on. And just notice throughout the day, just kind of like, hey, just roll your shoulders back a little bit. and really work to create like a nice posture, nice erect posture in the body, because again that's communicating this idea of that you're safe and you have the ability to just kind of stand up straight. So the next thing is really relaxing your shoulders, right? And because a lot of people carry their tension and stress in kind of their neck and shoulders, so really just working on kind of just relaxing the body. And again, because again, if your body's relaxed, that's sending a message to your nervous system that you're just hanging out, right? And that you're just here, you're not doing anything. If you're tightened up and you're moving around all the time and very like fidgety, you're sending that message of like, again, resistance, so again, that nice relaxed posture, relaxed body. And another thing is just your breathing, right? How you're breathing is important because it's sending a message to your nervous system, right? So nice slow breaths that are going all the way and filling up your stomach, and not in short and shallow breaths, right? So a lot of times when we're stressed or in activated in the sympathetic nervous system, we're breathing shallow and we're breathing just in the chest. We want to do nice slow breaths that are really getting all the way into the stomach and again all the way out. That's sending a message of safety, right? And then so things, right? Posture, right? Your body actually in a relaxed state, right? Like relaxing the muscle groups in your body, right? You can do that through like progressive muscle relaxation, right? All that stuff. And then breathing, very important as well. You can also do things like, in the evening, taking a like hot bath or a hot shower, and really, again, just the warmth, right? Again, I think, really helps communicate a feeling of safety to the body. And this is what the work is, right? So like when you understand it from a very high level picture, what we're really doing is we need to get the body to shift into parasympathetic to really understand that it's already safe. That's really what we're looking to do there. Okay. And I wanted to just make an episode on this because I think it's important that we understand this idea of that your nervous system knows how to, again, shift into parasympathetic. And so when I say balancing the nervous system, I know I titled the episode that, it's really not even accurate. It's really just shifting into the parasympathetic nervous system. But again, when we're in the sympathetic state, we realize that our nervous system is it seems dysregulated, right? So by getting your nervous system to the point where it's in parasympathetic, it's more just in your homeostasis state. And your body knows how to get there. It knows how to do that. You just have to send the messages you're sending are what you need to control. So you need to send consistent messages of safety to your nervous system, and that's done behaviorally. Okay. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope that makes sense in the grand scheme of OCD and anxiety and stress related disorders, and that really that those little things are just things you can do throughout the day. But the thing I want to stress is that the most important thing that you can do is eliminating those safety behaviors that are reinforcing your fears. Okay, that's like the number one thing that we need to do. And then the other things are kind of secondary things that we can be doing all day, right? Focusing on our breathing, our posture, how our body's being carried with the muscle groups, as well as, doing simple things like, taking hot showers at night or hot baths to really, again, just send that message of safety, which is why, especially if you're struggling with sleep or your nervous system's dysregulated or sleep, again, that warm shower, warm bath at night is a great way to start, getting your body into that belief system that like, hey, you're actually safe. And it's a great thing to do before bed. So hope that helps, and wish you guys a great week as always, and look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Take care. Thank you so much for watching that video. And so if you're struggling with OCD and anxiety, I just wanted to let you know that we have a free training for you over at Restored Minds, where you can start learning how to use our AAA response to really break out of that loop and ultimately take back control of your life. And all you need to do to access is just click the little link below, and you'll be taken to a page where you can register today. Thank you so much.